Give me one sec. Alright. I am making this video. I'm gonna fuss with this for a little bit. To kind of give a little update and to talk about something that I feel like a few people I personally know have gone through and have been questioning. So, I am 10 days away from being 1 year on testosterone. I'm super excited. It's been quite a journey, and I've been losing a lot of my curves. I am starting to have more broad shoulders, obviously facial hair, which is exciting. And I honestly cannot be any happier. Which brings me to this topic. Somebody I know came out as trans. And within a month was questioning this. He only started questioning this because people were asking him, are you sure? Do you think you're going to regret it? Don't you feel just more comfortable being a lesbian? It built up to the point that he started questioning his sexuality again. And that brings me to this topic of, I felt the same way at one point, and even though I never cared to admit it, when people asked me, I had thought about it. People asked, would I regret it later? Would I change my mind? And so on and so forth. So, with that being said, I will give my point of view on how that made me feel. And I've had numerous people ask me this. My family was very supportive, luckily. I didn't have to worry about that. If I needed anything, I can go to them. And that's not the case for everybody. So if this isn't you in that situation where you're not comfortable talking to your family about your issues, you can feel free to message me here on Instagram. And I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So I was questioned by a lot of friends. Are you sure? Aren't you going to regret it? It might not be the best choice, so on and so forth, to the point that I did start being concerned that they had to have known better than I did. And I used to have very low self-esteem, that I would kind of listen to what everybody had to say, and it bothers me a lot that I questioned this when I knew for a fact that I did not feel right in my body, that I would feel better being a man. And that bothered me a lot, that a lot of people question that, and it made me question myself. So I did try to kind of pull back. I didn't stop taking my shots because I knew in my head that I was right, but I tried to anyway. One day I put on girl clothes and I stood in front of my mirror. This was before I was about to take a shower, so if I cried, I could at least wash my face when I was done crying, in case what I knew was true, which was I would feel like a man if I put the girl clothes on. So I put the girl clothes on. I tried to fix my hair to look a little more feminine. Luckily, at that time, I didn't have facial hair, so it was really easy to kind of just leave it alone. And I stared at myself, and all I kept thinking was, this isn't me. This doesn't feel right. And I started bawling my eyes out. And I felt horrible because I didn't recognize the girl in the mirror, because that wasn't me. That wasn't me at all. And it hurt a lot because I was put into a position where people made me question myself. It's okay to ask, like, are you sure? Do you want to talk about it? Like, those things are okay to say, but to sit there and tell somebody you don't think they're making the right decision, or you think they're gonna regret it, let them learn that on their own. If you want to give your opinion about it and they ask you for it, that's one thing. But to sit there and tell them that you look better as a girl, or you are a girl, or vice versa, like, that's not your decision to make. As time kept going on, I started getting more comfortable with how I dressed myself. I was getting more comfortable about wearing my binder because I was flat-chested, and it felt amazing. And when I got when I put tape on for the first time, I was so ecstatic. I cried because like it was gone. My chest was gone, and it was the most euphoric thing I have ever felt in my entire life. Time kept going on. I started growing facial hair. One day I decided to cut it all off, and this was back, I think, in October or September, somewhere around there. And I got the question again, are you sure? Don't you think you'd be happier as a girl? And so on and so forth. That I started questioning it again. And I felt horrible because if I remembered the first time how awful I felt, I shouldn't feel awful for people making me question myself again. I didn't put girl clothes on this time. I sat with myself and I thought, how did I feel the first time? How did I feel the last 10 years portraying myself as the girl that everybody thought I was, or that I tried to make myself out to be? I was miserable. I was unhappy. And I never want to feel that way again, and I don't want anybody to ever feel that way. So if somebody's questioning you and you know in your heart that this is what you feel, then you do it. Talk to a therapist just to make sure, like I did too. I have been diagnosed with gender dysphoria. He said there's no doubt in his mind. And I did explain, like, why people thought the way they thought, that I would not be, a guy. And he's just like, well, how did you feel when you do those things? I was just like, I thought I was just a really gay guy. Like, I just like, drag queens. Like, guys dress up like drag queens and they're gay and they still get to be a man. Bottom line is, never let anybody make you question yourself. I feel awful that my so-called friends made me question that. And luckily I had family and I had a therapist to talk to, and at that time I had a partner that I was dating, and I talked to her about it. She didn't quite understand it. She kind of just let me vent, and then just said at the end of the day, like, I still think of you as a guy, like, even if your voice isn't that deep. And in about 10 days, I'm going to post a video, maybe on here or maybe on TikTok, of what I sounded like before and how I looked versus how I look and sound now. Now, as today stands, I feel more like a man than I have ever felt anything good in my life. I love the way my voice sounds, and I know it's just going to get deeper, and I'm so excited for that. Like, I can't wait to see how deep my voice can go. And if this is as deep as it goes, then that's fine, because I love the way I sound. I love the way I look when I look in the mirror, because I can feel closer to being the way I want to be. Yesterday I put tape on for the first time in quite a long time, and I looked in the mirror and I was so happy because I'm getting closer. And I'm trying to get on the list for top surgery so I can feel the way I want to feel and be comfortable for once. And I'm so excited because that is coming way sooner than I thought. Within the next year, I'm hoping to have my chest gone and to feel masculine and to start doing what I want and be comfortable. And that is my type of freedom. And I know a lot of people say they understand, and some of them may do. But I think more people understand what you're saying than the actual feeling and stuff behind it, which is fine as well. But I never in my life, from today forward, ever want to hear somebody ask me, are you sure you're making the right choice? Because I know I am. And I know hundreds and thousands of transgender people, man or woman, feel the exact same way. This is our freedom. Don't take that away from any of us. And it broke my heart to have this one individual post on Facebook, I need time, and I reached out because I felt something was wrong, and he told me that people were making him question his choice. He said he put on the girl clothes too, and he felt terrible. He never felt more emasculated in his life, and that kind of broke my heart because I know exactly how he felt. And I told him, regardless of what other people think and want you to do, you need to do what you think is best. So if you're one of those people that have people questioning you, don't let them win. You do you to make you happy. And if you do question yourself, don't go back to being feminine unless you absolutely want to. Maybe kind of test out the waters on both sides and see where you are. Talk to somebody, reach out, go to therapy. Talk to people that are also transgender. I had another person, he messaged me, he's just like, I want to do this, but I don't know how to go about this. Can you help me? And I messaged him basically how I felt and how I went about going and transitioning. And he's younger than I am. He's not 18 yet, so he has about a year before he can even consider starting testosterone because his family won't let him because they don't believe in it. None of this is anybody's choices but the individual that is going to endure the transitioning, the dysphoria, the pain that comes behind waking up every morning and looking down and they're still not the way they see themselves. I have packers, I have tape, I have binders that I wear to make myself feel better. Some days it works pretty well and I feel super great about myself, and some days not as often as it used to be, but I still get them that I feel really bad about myself because I'm not there yet. So I wear baggy shirts, or I'll wear buttons ups with vests and jackets, and I'll do what I can to make myself feel better. And like I said, within this next year, if all goes right, I will have top surgery and I will be so much happier. And I'm going to show everybody. I'm going to show everybody my scars because I'm not ashamed. And if you're transgender and you're listening to this, don't let anybody decide your life. Don't question what you think you know is right. I love you guys.